Level 1. The Glass Life. The apartment is 4,200 square feet on the 14th floor of a building your father owns entirely. You are 8 years old and you do not yet understand what your father does. You understand that the men outside your door change every 6 hours. You understand that your birthday party had 17 guests and 4 bodyguards. You understand that when your mother buys groceries, a driver carries the bags and a second man waits by the door with his hand inside his jacket. Your father's name is Dmitry Volkov. You call him Papa. The men who work for him call him Pakan, the boss. You do not know this word yet. You know only that when he enters a room, other men stand straighter, that when he speaks, no one interrupts, that he has never once raised his voice, and somehow this is more frightening than if he did. You attend a private school in central Moscow. Tuition is 2.4 million rubles per year. Your classmates are the children of senators, oligarchs, and foreign ambassadors. Nobody asks what your father does. In these circles, that question is considered rude, which is another way of saying dangerous. You are a good student. You are quiet. You notice things. You notice, for instance, that your father never uses the same phone 2 days in a row, that the men who visit him late at night leave without shaking hands, that your mother sleeps facing the wall and wakes before dawn and lies still, eyes open, the way someone lies still when they have stopped expecting things to be different. You are 8 years old, and your life is made of imported furniture and armed escorts, and a father who loves you completely, and a silence around your family that has the exact dimensions of a secret. Level 2. What the name carries. You are 13 when a girl at school tells you what your father is. She says it the way teenagers say things designed to wound, casually, with a smile, during lunch. She says her father told her. She says your family's money comes from extortion, contract enforcement, and narcotics distribution across 3 federal districts. You go home and you don't ask your father. You go to his study while he is out and open the drawer of his desk that is never locked because he trusts you completely or because he wants you to understand. Inside, a ledger with columns of numbers and abbreviations you don't recognize. A passport in a different name with your father's photograph. A photograph of a man with 2 holes where his eyes should be and a date written on the back in your father's handwriting. You close the drawer. You put everything back exactly as it was. You go to your room and you sit on the floor for a long time. At dinner, your father asks about your school day. You say it was fine. He nods. He passes you bread. His hands are clean. His nails are trimmed. He is wearing a watch that costs more than most people earn in 5 years, and he is asking you about your school day, and his voice is warm, and you love him, and you are afraid of him, and both of these things are true simultaneously, and they will be true for the rest of your life. What you don't know yet, your name appears in 3 separate FSB intelligence files as a family association. You are 13. You have done nothing. You are already documented. Level 3. The education nobody teaches. At 16, your father begins to explain things, not all at once, in pieces, the way you teach a child to swim, first the shallow end, then deeper, never the deep end before they are ready. He explains that the organization, he never calls it the Bratva, always the organization, operates across 14 cities, that it employs, directly and indirectly, several thousand people, that it has arrangements with 17 municipal officials, 4 regional prosecutors, and 2 federal judges whose names he does not tell you. That it has operated continuously for 31 years, surviving the collapse of the Soviet Union, 3 presidential administrations, and 4 internal power struggles that he describes with the clinical distance of a historian. He tells you that you will never be involved in operations, that this is non-negotiable, that the reason he is telling you these things is so that you understand the weight of the name you carry and the specific behaviors required to carry it safely. You do not borrow money. You do not discuss family business with anyone, including boyfriends, future husbands, and best friends, especially best friends. You do not respond to questions from journalists, government officials, or anyone who identifies themselves as representing any agency. You call the number in your phone listed as Uncle Gennady, and you say only, "I need assistance." Uncle Gennady is not your uncle. You have never met him. He is a lawyer who has kept 6 men out of federal prison in the past decade. His retainer is paid annually in cash, delivered in person, regardless of whether his services are needed that year. You are 16. You are sitting across from your father at a table in a restaurant your family owns, and he is handing you an education that no school offers and no daughter should need. Level 4. What love costs in this family. You are 22. You are studying international finance at a university in Geneva because Geneva is neutral ground and because 3 of your father's business relationships run through Swiss institutions, and because your father wants you educated and wants you close to the money simultaneously. 2 men sit in a flat across the street from your dormitory. They work 12-hour rotations. You know their names. They know your class schedule. You meet a man at the university. His name is Andre. He is studying law. He is from St. Petersburg. He is careful and intelligent, and he makes you laugh in a way that feels like something you've been holding your breath for. You go on 4 dates before you run his background through a contact your father arranged, a private intelligence firm in Zurich that processes queries for 3,000 euros per report. The report comes back clean. You keep seeing him. You do not tell him what your father does. You tell him your father is in real estate and logistics. This is technically accurate in the same way that surgery is technically cutting. 3 months in, Andre tells you he loves you. You tell him you love him too. This is true. That same week, your father's men run a second background check on Andre's father, his mother, his 2 brothers, his university professors, and his 3 closest friends from secondary school. The second report costs 9,000 euros and takes 11 days. It also comes back clean. You understand the logic. Love in your family is a security procedure. It always has been. You marry the man your father has cleared, and you love him genuinely, and both of these things can be true. What neither you nor your father knows is Andre's university tutor is a low-level FSB informant. His tutor has submitted a report noting that Andre is romantically involved with a woman whose surname matches an active organized crime family file. The FSB analyst who receives the report adds your name to a supplementary surveillance log. You are still in Geneva. You have done nothing illegal in your life. You are now being watched by 2 separate federal intelligence agencies across 2 countries. Level 5. The weight transfers. You are 28 when your father has his first heart attack. He survives. The second one, 4 months later, he does not. The funeral is attended by 240 people. 11 of them are FSB or MVD surveillance operatives photographing faces and license plates from a distance of approximately 200 meters. You will learn this later. During the service, you know only that your father is in a box and that the men who built their lives around his word are watching you to see what kind of person steps into the silence he left. The organization does not pass automatically. There is a council, 7 men, the most senior of whom is 64 years old and has been with your father since 1987. His name is Lev. He has 3 fingers on his left hand. He looks at you at the reception after the burial and says your father was a man who understood that strength requires a structure and that structure requires someone who understands both. He says this in the tone of a man asking a question without using question marks. You are not a soldier. You were never meant to be Pakan, but you are the only person alive who knew every relationship your father held, every arrangement, every pressure point. You have degrees in international finance and business law. You speak Russian, English, French, and functional German. You understand the money better than anyone in the council. You do not take the title. You take the role your father said you would never take.
and you tell yourself that managing the finances is not the same as running the organization, which is true in the same way that most important things are true, partially, in the light, if you don't look too carefully at the edges. Level 6. The Architecture of Survival. You are 31. You have restructured the organization's financial architecture over 4 years. The illegal revenue streams, protection, enforcement, narcotics distribution in 2 regions, now represent less than 30% of income. You have built 3 legitimate holding companies, registered in Cyprus, Luxembourg, and the UAE. You have shifted the majority of assets into real estate development, private logistics, and a medical supply chain that operates across 6 post-Soviet states. This is not laundering in the crude sense. This is transformation. You are turning a machine built on violence into a machine built on contracts, and you are doing it slowly enough that nobody inside it feels the change, and fast enough that the legal exposure decreases year on year. Lev dies of a stroke. 2 of the 7 council members are replaced with men you chose. The organization's direction is yours now in every way that matters. You do not give orders about operations. You don't need to. You control the money, and the money controls everything. Andre knows more now. Not everything. Enough. He has made the same calculation your mother made 30 years ago, that loving someone who carries a dangerous name means accepting a specific kind of weight and deciding the person is worth it. He has decided you are. You have decided to spend the rest of your life earning that decision. What you don't know is the FSB has been building a case for 22 months. They have your father's file, your financial records from 3 jurisdictions, and testimony from a mid-level distributor who agreed to cooperation in exchange for a reduced sentence. The case file is 847 pages. It names you on page 3. Level 8. The morning they come. It is 6:14 in the morning when they knock. You are already awake. You have been awake since 5:40 because you have not slept well in 4 years, and your body has learned to surface early as a default operating condition. There are 11 officers. 2 are FSB. The rest are MVD Financial Crimes Unit. They have a warrant covering your primary residence, your Moscow office, and a storage facility registered to one of your holding companies. The warrant was signed by a federal judge at 11:50 p.m. the previous night. You call Uncle Gennady, who is now a different lawyer with the same number, the 3rd man to hold that role in 15 years. You say only, "I need assistance." He says he will be there in 40 minutes. He arrives in 34. You do not speak without him present. You do not answer a single question in the 90 minutes between opening the door and his arrival. The officers search the apartment methodically. They photograph everything. They take 3 laptops, 2 external drives, 7 years of physical documents, and a leather notebook that contains nothing incriminating, but that you will not see again for 9 months. You sit at your kitchen table while your home is searched, and you think about your father sitting across from you in a restaurant in Moscow, telling you that the name carries weight, and that the weight requires specific behaviors. You followed every instruction. You called the number. You are sitting at your kitchen table in a silk robe with your hands folded, and you are quiet, and you are thinking that he prepared you exactly for this moment, and that his preparation is the only reason you are not falling apart right now. Andre sits next to you. He holds your hand. He does not speak. This is the most useful thing he has ever done. Level 8. What remains? The investigation runs for 2 years and 4 months. You are charged under Article 210 of the Russian Criminal Code, organization of a criminal community, and 3 counts of money laundering under federal financial statutes. The prosecution's case is substantial. Yours is more substantial. 3 of the counts are dropped before trial. The Article 210 charge proceeds. The trial lasts 11 weeks. Gennady's team presents documentation showing that each of the holding companies passed annual audits from licensed external firms, that the financial flows the prosecution identified as laundering were consistent with standard intra-corporate pricing transfers across international subsidiaries. that you were not present at nor had documented knowledge of any specific criminal operation. You were acquitted on the Article 210 charge. You are fined 4.2 million rubles on a reduced financial reporting violation, a procedural error in one of the Luxembourg filings from 3 years ago. You pay the fine on the day the verdict is read, in cash, because the account it would have come from has already been restructured. You walk out of the courthouse on a Tuesday afternoon in October. Gennady is beside you. Andrei is waiting at the car. There are 3 journalists and 1 photographer. You do not speak to them. You get in the car, you drive home. The organization still exists, smaller now, quieter. The transformation you started is closer to complete than anyone outside it knows. Whether you finish it or whether it finishes you is a question that doesn't have an answer in October. It has an answer eventually. All of these things have answers eventually. You know this better than most. You sit in your apartment that evening. The same apartment, still 4,200 square feet, still on the 14th floor. No men outside the door now. You ended that 3 years ago. Andrei makes dinner. You sit at the table and eat, and the radiator clicks, and the city moves outside the window, and you are 41 years old, and you are your father's daughter, and you are your own person.
You are tired in the specific way that people are tired when they have been carrying something enormous for a very long time. You think about your mother, about the way she slept facing the wall, about whether she understood what she had chosen or whether she only understood it later, in pieces, the way you did. You decide it doesn't matter. Understanding doesn't change the choosing. It only changes what you do next. In a private school in central Moscow, a girl is 8 years old. Her apartment is 3,800 square feet. Her father's name is a name that other men say carefully. The men outside her door change every 6 hours. She is a good student. She is quiet. She notices things. She notices, for instance, that her father never uses the same phone 2 days in a row. She does not yet know what this means. She will. This story is entirely fictional. However, the structures it describes, generational involvement in organized crime, the use of legitimate business architecture to distance criminal assets from prosecution, and the targeting of family members in federal organized crime investigations are extensively documented in court records and criminological research on post-Soviet organized crime. If you thought this story would end differently, tell me in the comments. Subscribe for more.